Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi there, and welcome to Freeform number 25. The 1/4 of 100. 1/4 of 100 Freeform. And this one comes quite a bit later than the previous one. A couple of weeks since I've done one of these, or any kind of commentary at all. Mainly because I've been extremely busy. And what I've been busy about is getting the stuff that I feel is necessary to improve this channel to a degree where I can start getting subscribers and people paying attention to what I'm doing here in multiple ways. I'm not just going to be doing commentary or literary stuff, but I'm also going to be doing gaming stuff. I'm also going to be doing some review stuff, and the end goal for that is to not just to do this, but to actually make a little bit of money at it. So it takes a little investment. Got to give a little to get a lot. So I've gone into the coffers, and I bought a new I bought the new camera. I bought a new camcorder. I bought a new laptop. I will be buying a large monitor that I can use to increase my workflow and my subscription for Premiere Pro and After Effects and Photoshop and Lightroom and a bunch of other stuff. All the Adobe products I will be subscribing to. I wish you could just buy it outright, but apparently you have to pay them $50 a month to use their products. It's an investment. It's a lot of money. It's not coming cheap. The hard drive alone that I will be buying is $100. The laptop, almost $2,000. The camera, $700. The camcorder, $200. The boom mic I bought, $100. And lenses, a couple $100 there. So this is a microphone. This is an investment, and it's like starting up a small business. And so I have to account for that. I have to make videos that bring attention and will eventually bring $1 in, because you just can't keep spending money and not ever making any. I've spent years and years and years writing for nothing, basically for nothing, and that's got to end. I'm almost 50 years old, and I've worked too hard for too long to get nothing for it. And so if I have to do reviews of tech gear or books or whatever it takes to make a few dollars, I will do that, rather than spend time on literary works that get absolutely no attention at all. Not even from fellow poets, not even from family members, not even from friends that I've known for 30 years can't even show up and leave a comment here or there. I've been left no choice but to go to different routes and to do different things. If I'm not going to be if people are not appreciating or grokking onto the things that I'm doing, I have to do something else. And if you think that's commercial or selling out or whatever, that's your damage. It comes down to ultimately what people value, and if they would prefer me doing a review on a camera or a review on a notebook or a laptop, or if they would prefer to have to pay to see me teach poetry or something of that sort, then that's what I'm going to do. You can't get by with two readers, two people in the audience. It's just not acceptable. And so, certain things on certain social media need to be severely curtailed. Facebook, I don't like their the way they go about their business, first of all. But second of all, I don't think that the community there is all that productive or interesting. It doesn't do a lot in terms of making things flow in your life. I don't find the people there especially thoughtful. And when I say this, I'm talking in general terms. I'm not, there are individuals in which that's the case, but in generally speaking, I don't find that most of the people there have thought really about anything, probably in decades. Some of them in decades. They got their PhD in something, and they decided that they were intelligent, and then they didn't have to learn anything else, and they could just give in to every kind of stupidity that is out there. Just because you got an advanced degree doesn't mean you're smart. It doesn't. Sorry. Just because you got a college degree doesn't make you any more intelligent than the guy cleaning out a toilet. He knows how to clean out a toilet. What do you know? What do you know? If you got a college degree, okay, great for you. Bully for you. You knew something, 25 years ago. You knew how to, take apart, a Dickens novel or something. Okay, whatever. It doesn't give you an excuse to spend the rest of your life being absolutely thoughtless. But so there are people out there like that. I don't usually stay friends with those people very long, and so it's it's kind of pointless for me to be on there. The few thoughtful people that are there, it's nice to know them, but they don't tend to show up. So in certain cases, the social media is going to be stopped, and I'm going to completely transfer over my time to more productive things. Facebook is not a productive thing. Twitter is not a productive thing. These are time sucks and wasted hours. And I just don't have. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm not the healthiest individual in the world. People in my family, the men, usually die in their 50s, so I may be looking at hours to live, basically, and days, and I just can't waste my time doing it anymore. Anyway, as these people, and to tell you the truth, a lot of what's going on in the world is just bizarre and clownish and stupid. And I don't have any stomach for it. When sitting senators of the United States tell men, just men in general, to shut up, when sitting senators do that, and could you imagine if a sitting senator told black people to just shut up? Could you imagine if a sitting senator told women to just shut up? But you can play that game forever with them, and they just don't care anymore. They don't care that there's a hypocrisy to it, or that there's that it's bigoted and extreme, or that it's stupid and extreme. They don't care. They don't care. They have gone full Machiavellian, full charge ahead in the stupidity department. And they are cravenly lusting after power, and they will do anything to maintain it. They will especially do anything to maintain the ability to continue to slaughter children at any stage that they can get away with it. That is what's driving all the madness. Really, I think all the madness in the whole country. When you get right down to the whole problem, every problem that we have, you circle it around, you move around, you go over here and you go over there, and you say, what is the cause of it all? It's abortion. It's just like if you were in 1840 and you said, what is the problems in this country? Where does it all start? Where does it all end? It's all going to transfer back to slavery. That would have been the whole thing right there. Every single problem had taxes and human rights and medicine, everything you can think of, it would have all filtered in through and eventually ended up back at slavery. The same thing is true today. You cannot have a signature evil like abortion and not have it corrupt a country's soul in every way possible. It's almost amazing that we've made it this far along since Roe. It shows the strength and the dynamism of the wonderful system that our founders put in place for a constitutional republic, that we have survived this long with the atrocity of abortion going on as long as it has. Because I don't think that we would have otherwise. If we were, there's only two outcomes in this. Either abortion is gotten rid of, or we plunge towards civil war. Those are the only two options that are left. I really truly believe that. It cannot sustain itself much longer. Because anytime that particular thing is threatened, you see millions of people go into full hysterics. And so eventually those people are going to have to be put down. I hate to say it. It's a terrible thing to have to say, but it's just not going to happen. I'm not advocating for it. I'm only saying that it's going to happen. I'm predicting it will happen. Just like if I was in 1840, I would tell you that we are headed toward a civil war. There is no way you can sustain the atrocity of slavery much longer. It's going to implode. It can't continue on like this. We are so different in our thinking. The abolitionists and the slaveholders. And the abolitionists are growing in strength, and the slaveholders are trying to hold on, and they get more and more desperate all the time. They get more and more crazy and craven, and they're doing all kinds of things to try to maintain their slavery, their atrocities, their evil, and they get more and more ridiculous and more absurd and more idiotic in their rationale and their reasoning. And the same thing is happening with abortion today. Today it's happening. The same thing that happened with slavery is happening with abortion. And if this country doesn't solve this problem, if it doesn't at least take the steam off it, I'm telling you right now, we are headed toward a civil war. It will be not a culture war. It will be a shooting war. We will fight over it, and it won't seem like it's over abortion. It will seem like it's over something else. It will seem like it's over this or over that. Like like World War II, started over. World War I started over being the Lusitania or something like that. Or you have the shooting of the Archduke or something like that, and you say that caused the war. No, that didn't cause the war. All the other stuff that was in the sewer, in the sewage of the cultural bloodstream caused that. It's always that. It's always these march of idiots that come through and they don't see the damage they're doing, and they hold on to this debased, evil philosophy and practice, and they won't even consider limiting it at all. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, and what's going to happen is we're going to see total anarchy and war in the country in the near future. It's just that simple. You can't. The reason why they are attacking Republicans the way they are, the reason the whole Me Too movement is going on, and they're calling men all these is they're trying to save abortion. They know they're losing. They've lost the argument. They've lost the hearts and minds. And the only thing they can do now is slander everybody. They have to slander men. They have to slander mothers. They have to slander Republicans. They have to slander any Democrat that disagrees with them. They have to slander everybody. You either are part of the abortion cult or you are deplorable, to use a term. I know they'll assign all kinds of things to you. But really, what they're doing is they're trying to protect that. They're trying to protect it like the slave owners tried to protect slavery, and like the Jim Crow people tried to preserve their institutionalized bigotry, and like the Roman empires tried to preserve their conquering empire, and on and on. This is not exclusive to the United States where this goes on. Europe is basically a hole in the ground. and they are trying to sustain this globalist view of the world, but it's falling apart at the seams. It's dying, right? It's dying everywhere in Europe, in Sweden, in Germany, in Italy, in Spain, in England, with Brexit. You have all across the continent, in Poland, in Hungary, with Viktor Orban, and the whole continent is just, they don't even know what to do. They didn't see this coming. In the same way the slave owners never really saw an Abraham Lincoln coming. And then they said, holy crap, we got a freaking Republican elected. Now we have to secede from the Union. We have to take drastic measures. And that's what you're seeing with Trump. You're seeing all this hysteria, all this freaking craziness come, this bubbling up out of the thing, like some teenager who ate freaking way too much chocolate, and all of a sudden their face is just exploding with boiling pus of pimples all over the place. That is the left right now. They cannot sustain it. They have to go full nutso. And the only thing left to do is either succumb to them and their complete, total evil, or come to blows. Because apparently they are not going to let the democratic process work out. They are not going to see democracy, in the true sense of that word. We don't have a true democracy. We are a republic. But democracy, in the true sense of the word, is a kind of a pressure valve thing. It's like, like JFK said, if you don't allow people to let the gears of government work for them, then you've made violent revolution inevitable, because that's the only thing they can turn to. So if you try to impeach Trump and you try to put this globalist view, force it down people's throat, basically say that the Constitution doesn't mean a damn thing, your vote doesn't mean a damn thing, your money doesn't mean a damn thing, nothing you do doesn't mean a damn thing. You're basically a ward of the state at best, and at worst you're a freaking, you're in some kind of Orwellian dystopia. And if that happens, there are way, way, way too many people who have guns. And I'll tell you what, a lot of them are not afraid to use it. And a lot of them, I'm seeing it all over the place. I'm seeing a lot of people say, yeah, Trump is really your last chance. It's your last chance to let some of the steam. The deep state is not going to control us forever. We're not going to allow it. We're not going to allow big tech to freaking control our speech rights. We're not going to allow, the Democrats to, tell us, we're going to do whatever we want to do. It's not going to happen. Eventually people say, not going to put up with it, and then they have a choice. Either they're going to go full tyranny and start freaking, using the leverage of government to not just spy on us, as they've been doing. They've been doing this stuff already. They've taken steps to do all this stuff, but only to a certain degree. We've not seen people rounded up. We've not seen them imprisoned. We've not seen them killed. It's not on a wide scale. But can that happen? Oh yeah, that can happen. We've seen it happen throughout the world. We know this kind of thing happens all the time. You think it can't happen here? It can happen here. Will happen here. If these Democrats don't pull back. I mean, we're talking about the end of due process. We're talking about the end of the first, fourth, fifth. I can go through the second. I can go through every freaking constitutional amendment of the Bill of Rights that they are actively attacking right now as we speak. Every single one of them. You've got people in the deliberative body of the freaking United States Senate saying that people have to prove their own innocence against charges that happened 35 years ago. Otherwise, their lives can be destroyed. Period. Their reputation's destroyed. They're already doing that. They're doing that with impunity. And they're doing it with a craving, clownish, lust just for that. All they're trying to do is protect abortion. That's it. And they're afraid if this guy gets on, that's the end of Roe. And I pray to God it is. Not that I think abortion will be ended overnight or that, I just think, God, let's have some freaking legislative common sense on the issue. What does a woman need to have an abortion after 5 months for if her life is not in jeopardy? Well, she couldn't fucking figure it out in 20 weeks that she didn't want the baby? Now she's got to kill a freaking kid that could survive? The only difference between that and a regular baby, that child and a regular child, is where they happen to be at the moment? One in the womb and one not in the womb? Is that the only freaking thing that makes a person's life, covered by the Constitution? There is absolutely no reason in hell for that to exist, for that kind of abortion. Now, there's really no reason after 3 months or after 2 months. You can't even find a reason for it. There's not even a reason at all. You get pregnant, period. That person in there is a person. It doesn't matter how that person was conceived. It doesn't matter how well you can take care of it. It doesn't matter how much they're wanted. There are lots of people in this world walking around right now. There are whole cities full of them that are not wanted. There's nobody who wants them. I've known people like this. I've been one of these people. Nobody wants them. They're homeless. They're crazy. They're out of they're on drugs, or they're prostitutes. Who wants these people? What are you going to go do? Kill them because they're not wanted? The whole idea is absurd. And yes, rape is a truly evil, horrible thing. It's still not an excuse for murder. It's not. There is no reason ever to murder an innocent human being. Ever. There's no cause for it. There's no justification. It's never right. It's always evil. Every single freaking time. Not once is it justified. You don't want to raise the child? Okay. Give the child up. That child can grow up and maybe they don't have a great life. Maybe it's sad for them. Maybe they have a sad life. But you know what? That's their life. It's their life. They get to decide that, not you. You don't get to decide whether another person lives or dies. Who the hell are you? Even if you're that person's mother, you don't get that decision. It's not your life. This evil cannot persist. It can't and it won't. People will not accept it much longer. And so some limitation is going to be put on it. There are already many civilized countries. The left loves Europe. Oh, Europe is they're so civilized. They're so much more civilized than us. They have more stringent limitations on abortions than we do. So, okay, you like France so much? We'll have France's abortion laws. Go look at them. I'll tell you what, there ain't a whole lot of 7-month-old freaking people getting abortions there. It's not allowed. They would never permit it. And I see what you did. Made me get all excited. But the truth of the matter is that all this Brett Kavanaugh stuff, all this stuff that you're seeing, all the Trump hate, all of it, it all comes back to this issue. It all comes back to this issue. It comes back to a large number of people wanting to be sexually irresponsible and not having to deal with that problem when it arises. It comes from a childish population, an immature population, who for too long has been told you never have to grow up. You never have to take responsibility for what you've done in life. You never have to face the piper. You can put off death interminably. You don't even have to age. Go get a bunch of surgeries. If you're rich enough, you can do that. You don't have to grow up. You don't have to leave your mother's basement. You don't have to, show up and be a man. Raise your children that you make, that you create. And you don't have to be a mother if you don't want to be a mother. If it's gonna inconvenience you in any way, kill the baby. Kill the baby, or end the marriage, or whatever. And if you leave a slew of bodies behind you and blood, and man, don't look back. Don't look back. Don't ever look back. Only look forward. Put all that blame on Republicans or Christians or anybody who is different than you. Put the blame on them, because if you start to look internally, you start to look at the 3 babies that you killed and the 4 marriages you've been through. You start looking at that stuff, and you look at that closely, you start to know who you are. You start to know who you are. Well, who are you? Who really are you? Are you really proud of that? Are you really proud that you killed these innocent people whose lives will never happen, whose prospective mates will never know them, whose own children will never exist? All because you didn't feel like it. Such evil has a lifespan. Such evil has a shelf life. It can only go on so long. Nero can only fiddle so long while Rome burns, and eventually they come for Nero. Mussolini can only do so much stuff, and eventually they hang him from a lamppost. Stalin can die in his bed, but eventually his country dissolves. Hitler ends with a bullet in his head and in a bunker, hiding like some ghoul in a coffin. Ultimately, all evil comes to that. And this evil will too. It's just a matter of how many people will suffer before that happens. That's it. You think you can sustain abortion forever? No, you can't. It's going to end. It's going to end. Eventually, antibiotics will stop working. People will, already we've seen, populations decreasing. In Japan, they're dying out. In other places like Russia, the average Russian woman has 9 abortions in her lifetime. The average Russian woman. That means for every Russian woman that doesn't have an abortion, because maybe she can't get pregnant or something, think of how many the other women are taking, or how many abortions they're having. They have like birth control. They also have a population growth thing about 1.3. In other words, for every woman, there's 1.3 births. That means they're basically halving their population every generation. You got to have a 2.1 birth rate in order to maintain your population. And if you're just maintaining your population, your economy suffers. Because if you're going to make stuff, you got to have people to buy it. See all the problems that you see, all the economic problems, all the immigration problems, it's all because of abortion. What do you think we have to bring in cheap labor into the country? People who don't share our values, don't believe in American limited government and things of that sort. Why do you think they have to come here from Mexico and come here from other countries? Why do you think they're bringing in refugees to vote for Democrats? Why do you think they're doing that? It's because Democrats are not having babies, that's why. Democrats are out there aborting their babies, and so they have to bring Democrats in from Mexico. They have to bring Democrats in from Syria. That's what they have to do, because they're not having babies. Otherwise, Democrats will die out. Who's having the babies in America? I'll tell you who's having them. Mormons. That's who's having them. Mormons and believing traditional Catholics. Those are the people having the babies. Everybody else, mainstream Protestants, not happening. Maybe the evangelicals, and that's about it. But mainline Protestants and atheists and Democrats and all those, it's not happening. They're dying out, and they're being replaced. And who are they being replaced by? They're mainly being replaced by foreigners. And the thing about foreigners is you don't have magic dirt. These people come here and they decide that they want to make, they want to make America like China, or they want to make America like Syria, or they want to make America like the Middle East, or they want to make America like Mexico, or they want to call it Mexico again and plant the Mexican flag. They don't really want to be like you or me. They don't want to be Americans. They're not coming here to be Americans. They're coming here for economic opportunity. They're coming here for other things. They're coming here for the free ride and free goodies. They're coming here for that. They're coming here to be cheap labor so that a few friggin' fat cats can get rich. But they're not coming here because they love America. No, that's not why. And so all of this, it all circles back to abortion. The whole thing, the whole march of idiots that you're seeing, all this Judge Kavanaugh stuff, everything that you see in the news is all about the left protecting that particular evil. And once you understand that, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Every last bit of it makes sense. All the globalists, all the climate change, everything you can think of, everything that they say, everything that they do, it all comes back to that. But I got bad news for them. And I've said it here before. It's not sustainable. You will lose. It's just, how are you going to lose? You're either going to lose because you have sane limits put on this awful, tragic policy, or you're going to be overrun by Muslims or something that you bring into this country, and they're going to impose their Sharia law, and then they're going to make your life or your children or your grandchildren's lives look like, like The Handmaid's Tale, be a freaking happy story. You look back on that with sweet nostalgia. You want to, you're going to miss the Christians when they're gone. Trust me, you're going to miss them because what's coming down the pike ain't going to be pretty. You better hope the Christians win this. You better hope we win, because if we don't win, you don't win. You lose. You lose in the worst way. And I guess that's all I want to say today. Except, I pray to God. I'm praying right now that Judge Kavanaugh will be appointed and confirmed, and that's what I mean. And if he's not, if we lose that particular battle, it's sad. We may go on to lose more battles. But I'm telling you right now, I'm confident of this. One way or another, it's coming to an end. Everywhere. The left-wing progressive view of the world is dying. And just in time. Anyway, it's Jim Valvis talking about these things. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Things are going to get very interesting from here on out. Lots of stuff going to happen. There's the gaming stuff. There's the more poetry coming at you. There's short stories that I'm going to have. I think I'm going to animate. They're going to be. I have more poetry features lined up. I have Toby Alfia. I have the Jeff Alfia. I have Justin Ham. Those won't be for a while, because I get the I got to get the laptop. I got to get the equipment. And I got to get all that stuff. So all that stuff's going down, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if you want to be part of that, got to hit the like button. You got to hit the subscribe button. Especially got to do that. Hit the little bell so you get the notices. You got to get the and you can share this stuff. I don't care who knows it anymore. I'm out and about, and if people don't want to publish me because of it, they think I'm a terrible guy because I don't think that babies should be killed. Okay, that's your damage. All right. Anyway, thanks for listening. You made it this far, and God bless you.